Bonsoir, mes amis. Welcome back to the final episode of Monaco. Last time, the lookout took us on one more tour of Haiti. This time, the locksmith will be playing us out. So, who saw that one coming? I am happy to say that remained unspoiled until the very end, about the closest we got, and the thread 99 guessed that Candide was the gentleman. Close, but not close enough. So, let's take stock of what we now know. Candide was the cleaner the entire time, and Inspector Voltaire has been disposed of. I think it more than likely that the cleaner has been the inside man that the gentleman had in Interpol the entire time. More than likely, what's the truth of Monaco? I like to stick with the five thieves theory myself. You have the gentleman, who is also the pickpocket, the redhead, who is also the blonde in the lookout. You have the mole, who is also the locksmith. And finally, you have the cleaner and the hacker, who are separate people. I maintain this because, well, more than likely, the hacker had to be one of the people who broke out with the pickpocket. Considering the lookout story, referred to the psychopath in the cell next to hers, but the cleaner was out setting fires on that same night. So, it makes sense to me that the hacker and the cleaner are separate people. The only possible wrinkle I see to this is that the hacker doesn't have anything to say at the end here. The hacker does not appear in the end credits, so to speak. But I'd consider that a minor oversight. More than likely the hacker is off somewhere putting a device on the slot machines. I think that's something he'd do. As for David's inside man, who the gentleman took over supposedly, I think it's pretty important to keep in mind, where did we get the information that David had an inside man from? It came from the pickpocket, who we've already established is not exactly a reliable narrator. I think it more than likely that David never had a man inside Interpol. But, well, the gentleman did. And I would like to point out, it's not exactly as though this was... what's the word? It wasn't completely non-telegraphed. As a matter of fact, I believe one of the very first things Constable Candide says is... ... If you're looking in the right places, it's not exactly a secret that Candide is the cleaner, but it's pretty well hidden. The safe is the most dangerous part of this level. There's a laser watching it in addition to all the guards and everything else. It's probably the only area you will have a lot of trouble with up here on the VIP floor. Street level is pretty simple. There's just a few alarms to take care of, and the main prize is down underground. But once you clear up the top floor, everything else should come pretty simply. So, I know one of the things I mentioned earlier is I was always curious what exactly happened to David. He was somewhat of a central character in both storylines, but he never popped up again. I'm willing to fully accept that David is completely a red herring. He pops up in the locksmith story to say, well, this is a person who might have been here at this time. And he pops up in the pickpocket story to say, hey, this is a person who we are taking over for. Does he actually exist? Yes. Is he actually involved with the story, beyond being a person who was about to have his identity stolen? Well, no, I don't believe so. At the end of the day, I believe that Inspector Voltaire was merely Inspector Voltaire. He is an Interpol inspector who, unfortunately, got too close to the truth. But it sure was fun spitballing all those other theories.
Qui va là? Stop! Arrêtez-vous immédiatement. Arrête-toi, voleur!
The craps table here has two lasers watching it, and unfortunately, no matter how well you do, somebody's going to get irritated when you walk through here. But with, as always, a liberal application of smoke bombs, every problem can be solved.
Oh, et puis... tant pis. Qui va là? Vous n'avez rien de quelqu'un ici. Arrête-toi, voleur! Voleur! Oh, et puis... bon, ça doit être un chat. Je suis sûr d'avoir entendu quelque chose. Bon, ça doit être un chat.
I'm a little bit confused why that exclamation point is still there on the right. It looks like maybe a guard never quite made it. No, there it goes.
Je vais te tuer!
Yeah, normally those disappear when the guards investigate what they've been looking at, but I guess, well, I guess maybe I was a little bit faster than I gave myself credit for. It could be that the alarm box that I set off was so far away that it just took them that long to clear it out, along with investigating where I was. All the big wrinkles on this level have been cleared out, aside from the pile of money sitting on the craps table and the ATM. Everything else is just sort of sitting around, and if you play it cautiously, you shouldn't have a problem getting to it. Sometimes the only issue is finding it, but with enough keys lying around, you can almost definitely find your way to anywhere you're looking.
Oh, et puis... tant pis.
I figure I can grab those last two pieces on the way out.
Quoi? Qui est là?
Down here inside the underground vault, the two areas you're going to have the most issue with are in the center. You see there's a trophy there. That's one of them. There's a lot of lasers inside the secondary vault, and it's actually pretty fun to get through. If you plan on going in there, I would recommend getting some computer viruses and going from the bottom, or you can use a key in the top. Otherwise, there's the vault here, which has a rotating laser, which, well, unless you use an EMP, you're just not getting around it. Though on a neat note, it does have those alternating floor tiles, which I've always been a big fan of. Of course, now I try and make my way in here without any viruses, and it goes about as well as you'd expect.
Y'a quelqu'un? Arrête! Bon.
At least part of it has to do with the guard's pathing. For some reason, this guard down here on the bottom, he never really steps away from patrolling in the bottom area. So, it's always a little bit more dangerous than it has to be. Since we're in the last few moments of the LP, as far as single player goes, I would like to take this moment to give out some special thanks. First off, I'd like to thank Richie's and School Monkey, who actually, without having decided to stream this game one day, this LP wouldn't exist. I happened to catch on to one of their multiplayer streams back when they were doing the Dead Rising 2 thread, and well, I realized I'm kind of good at this game, I guess. So, I figured why not show it off. I'd like to extend another special thanks to Frozen Treasure, who at least got the multiplayer ball rolling. He set up a Skype chat, and most of it would not be as organized without that for certain.
Je vais te tuer!
Thank you very much, Frozen Treasure, even if I do make fun of you for playing the game all the time. I'd also like to thank Alien Arcana from the thread for guessing way too accurately on all of the thread points I was trying to keep secret. You're actually the reason I came up with most of my, well, who could really be the cleaner theories and the start of Monaco Finn, so thanks for either knowing ahead of time or guessing way too accurately. I had fun spitballing all the different theories. I'd also like to thank all the people who participated in my multiplayer videos, without whom, well, it wouldn't be the same LP. Finally, I'd like to thank everyone who watched the videos with me on the way through. I wouldn't have made these things if somebody wasn't watching them, so thank you very much, viewers like you. And with that, we're on our way out. Au revoir, mes amis. See you next time.